Here at Heinz Field, following the Cowboys' 20-13 loss to the Steelers for StarTelegram.com, I'm Cowboys beat writer Mac Engel, joined by Clarence E. Hill Jr. And Clarence, since you've covered the team for the better part of 55 years, I'm going to ask you, was this the most unique, painful loss that you've seen in your time covering the Cowboys?
This was a shock, and it shouldn't be a shock because in all these
No
100 years that I've covered the Cowboys, they've never won a playoff game. They've never done anything. I don't know. I mean, it may be my fault, but yeah, at halftime, I was saying that Cowboys were going to win this game. They had 4 turnovers. The game was 3-3. I think that they showed some toughness. They showed mental toughness, physical toughness. They had
everything that we didn't think that they were, they did in the first half. They shot themselves in the foot. It's a brutal day out here. It's like 10 degrees with a 30 below wind chill, whatever it is. This is awful. This is hell on earth. And the Cowboys were doing fine. And then in the third and fourth quarter, it all came apart.
Well, the fourth quarter, because the third quarter, they took what they got in the first half and built on it. They gained confidence. You look at the beginning of the game, and most of the starters out there were short sleeve, kind of showing the middle of the thing. Hey, we're tough. We can do
I
this.
noticed you're wearing your coat, by the way.
Well, I'm a winner. Yeah. But anyway, in the third quarter, they took the lead. They took control of the
13-3, the Cowboys had lead, and they had the Steelers pinned deep in their own territory, facing a 3rd and 16, and that's when it all came apart. When Ben Roethlisberger completed that 47-yard pass to Santonio Holmes, and then you could finally feel the momentum actually change. Something changed.
It changed, but after that they got the goal line stand.
But Pittsburgh had flipped the field.
They got the goal line stand. And if you remember after the goal line stand, when Brady James made the play and Keith Davis made the play, and I remember it was a poignant moment to me because T.O. was taunting Steeler fans, and Martellus Bennett was dancing, and you're like, this defense had a goal line stand against the Steelers at Heinz Field, and maybe this is their day. Maybe this is their time. And then the offense goes out and goes 3 and out, and they punt the ball, and then special teams
kill them again.
35-yard punt return, and then the momentum changed.
And then all of a sudden, all the good things that we had seen that the Cowboys had done in the first half, and certainly in that third quarter, the majority of the third quarter, all came unraveled.
Yeah.
The Steelers scored 2 touchdowns in 24 seconds. The last of which coming on Tony Romo's interception to Deshae Townsend. He returned 26 yards for a touchdown. Cowboys lose. They've got 3 games left. Right now they're in the playoffs because of all the other teams who've lost. But Clarence, with the 3 teams that they have coming up, they play. Giants at home, Ravens at home, Eagles on the road. Do they make the playoffs?
I don't see it. And the thing is, I started to believe somewhere during this game.
I thought they were going to do it.
I thought they were going to do it. Somewhere I said the Cowboys are going to win this game and they're going to go 11-5 and make the playoffs. Now, after the way they lost, because the funny thing about it is, this was a good loss for them because it wasn't a conference loss. Which is why
they can deal with it.
Right. Because they got the edge in conference record over the Falcons in the race for the final spot. But I don't know how they can come back from this devastating loss, and this was a chance for them to prove things. They thought they were proving it to everybody,
and they had
to do it, and then they lose, and now they go back and play a Giants team that's better than the Steelers, a Giants team that's coming off the loss. They once proved that that loss to the Eagles was a fluke, so they're going to want to stomp on the Cowboys just because it's the Cowboys. But they certainly have something to prove. So they have to win next week. They got a Ravens team that's dominated the Redskins tonight. It's not going to be an easy game. And then they got the Eagles who are suddenly back
looking relevant again.
Looking good. So
and
all these things, they got to go 3-0 in the last 3 games. I don't think they can do it.
This game had everything that the Cowboys basically was a microcosm of their entire season. We thought they were going to be good. They looked good. And then all the things that we feared that they would fall apart, they crashed and burned.
And Romo had his 3rd worst game of his career, statistically speaking. His quarterback rating was the 3rd worst of his career. 3 interceptions.
He was awful. He had 4 turnovers, 3 picks. Jason Witten was bad. There are a lot of guys on this offense who didn't have good games. And we should mention that Tashard Choice, the rookie running back, stepped in for Marion Barber, did a nice job. Did a nice job. No one's going to remember.
Right, but we will remember starting tomorrow that Jerry Jones kind of threw Marion Barber under the bus.
Totally. He said he could play, and Barber did.
And for a team that for Jason Witten, a guy who played with a broken rib, and other guys, and Tony Romo trying to play with the pinky, he did not go out there and give it the college try, which disappoints Jerry Jones because he gave him all that money in the offseason. He's supposed to be the running back of the future, and a guy that had Emmitt Smith who was defining the game, was playing with the bum shoulder. Here's your hard-nosed, tough running back. Not giving it a try.
And I think of all the guys on this team, Marion Barber is one of the guys on this team. I'm stunned to hear Jerry Jones say that. Cowboys do have 3 games left. They go back to Texas Stadium on Sunday night to play a Giants team they, quite frankly, have to beat. They haven't beaten the last 2 times. But if they don't win this game, then I think probably the playoffs are, if they're not mathematically dead, another conference loss. So they have to win that game. Their margin for error is done.
Right.
Well, from Heinz Field, a completely devastating loss to the Dallas Cowboys. If you believed, don't anymore. It's all over. No, I'm kidding, of course. But for StarTelegram.com, he's Clarence C. Hill Jr., and I'm Mac Engel.